In the prosperous kingdom of Nazodo, yet the sun always seemed to shine a little brighter. There lived a royal family, adored by all. King Taja and Queen Lani had 3 beautiful daughters, each one a gem in the eyes of the people. But it was the eldest, Princess Nora, who shone the brightest. She was known for her kindness, nobility, and her respectful nature. Nora was the embodiment of grace, always caring for her younger sisters and ensuring that the royal household ran smoothly. Among the people, she was a symbol of hope, destined to one day rule the kingdom with wisdom and compassion. Every morning, Nora would personally serve tea to her parents, a gesture of love and respect that endeared her even more to the king and queen. One bright morning, Queen Lani called Nora to her chambers. With a joyful heart, the queen shared news that would change the course of Nora's life forever. She was pregnant, and this time, the royal physicians had confirmed it would be a boy. The queen's eyes sparkled with happiness. Finally, she would have a son. But while the queen rejoiced, Nora felt a cold knot of fear tighten in her chest. All her life, she had been groomed to be queen, the future ruler of Nazodo. But now, with the coming of a male heir, would she be cast aside, forgotten? Her dreams of ruling the kingdom seemed to slip away like sand through her fingers. The following day, Nora's closest friend, Princess Naima, from a neighboring kingdom, came to visit. Naima was a striking figure, draped in luxurious fabrics and adorned with jewels that sparkled in the sunlight. She had always been a bit of a mystery, a princess with wealth beyond measure, though no one seemed to know how she had come by it. As they sat together in Nora's chambers, sipping tea and sharing stories, Nora confided in Naima about her mother's pregnancy and the fears that plagued her heart. Naima listened carefully, her eyes narrowing as she formulated her response. "Nora," Naima began, her voice smooth and persuasive, "you're right to be worried. Once your brother is born, your parents will see him as the true heir. Your hopes of becoming queen could vanish in an instant. With the wind. You've worked so hard, been so loyal, and now it could all be for nothing." Nora's heart pounded in her chest. She had never considered that her dreams could be so easily dashed. But Naima wasn't finished. "Look at me," Naima continued, gesturing to her lavish attire. "Do you think I got all this by waiting for my father to notice me? No, I've been resourceful. I've been taking a little from the treasury here and there, making sure that if things don't go my way, I still have something to fall back on. You should do the same, Nora. Be smart, act quickly before it's too late." Just then, the both of them turned in shock as they were interrupted by the maid, who apologized for breaking in and invited them for lunch. "Do you think she heard us?" Naima asked, looking shocked. "I don't believe so," Nora responded as they went for lunch. Nora was shocked by Naima's words. Stealing from the treasury? Losing my chance of becoming the next ruler? It was unthinkable. But as the days passed, Naima's voice echoed in her mind. The fear of being overshadowed by her unborn brother grew stronger with each passing day, until finally, she could bear it no longer. Nora resolved to act. She couldn't allow her dreams to be taken from her, not after all the years she had spent preparing to rule. She reached out to her friends, this time with a new resolve. They met in secret, scheming and planning, and Nora shared her plan. She would make sure her brother was never born, and she would secure her position as the future queen. Her friends, delighted to see Nora embracing her darker side and promised huge rewards in gold, eagerly agreed to help. They provided Nora with a portion, a deadly concoction that could be slipped into her mother and father's tea. It would cause the queen to miscarry and incapacitate the king and queen, ensuring that Nora remained the heir to the throne. On a quiet evening, while serving tea to her parents as she always did, Nora hesitated for just a moment as she considered what she was about to do. But then, she remembered Naima's words, the threat of losing everything, and her resolve hardened. She added the potion to her mother's cup and watched as Queen Lani drank it, unaware of the betrayal in her daughter's heart. Days passed, and the queen's health began to decline, followed closely by that of the king. Her friends helped her with the potion, but she also connived with the palace physicians so as not to find a cure for the king and queen, promising them handsome rewards in gold. She had once walked into the royal treasury house while taking a stroll in the palace and was shocked at the fortune of gold she saw, which further heightened her greed, jealousy, and desire for power, so as to be rich like Naima, her friend. All this wealth will be mine, and mine only, she had said to herself. The whispers of the king and queen's condition spread like wildfire across the kingdom. Everyone was comforted, knowing that they had a good daughter like Nora, who would take over should anything happen to them. The princesses all went to see their parents and were heartbroken with all the recent happenings. Nora stood as a beacon of hope to them all, but she congratulated herself for a clean job. She also celebrated her milestones with her friends at every successful execution. And so, on his deathbed, the king asked Nora to step in as the new queen, as they may not survive the illness. Nora feigned surprise and weakness and casted doubts on her abilities, but her father, the eldest, and her sisters reassured her that she is a good leader. And she accepted, and afterwards mocked them in her room. They are the ones begging me to be queen now. She laughed. She visited Naima to tell her of her progress, and they celebrated. The entire kingdom mourned, unaware of the dark deed that had taken place within the palace walls. Nora, though racked with guilt, kept her secret. She had secured her place as the future queen, but at what cost? Her friendship with Naima, once a source of joy, had become a dark alliance, one that weighed heavily on her soul. On the coronation day, her sisters were so happy, and everyone in the kingdom. Her friends were so happy because power was now in their hands. Nora was elegantly dressed in white and gold, and she walked forward to receive the scepter of authority and the crown. She was declared queen, and she smiled in victory and proceeded to give her speech as everyone looked in admiration, awe, and joy, unaware of what she had done. While on her speech, she was interrupted by one of the royal physicians who exposed her to the entire kingdom. She had refused to partake in the evil, and Nora had asked some men to kill her secretly, but she escaped. The crowd fell silent. Their adoration for Nora turned to rage as the truth was revealed. Nora's sisters, who had always looked up to her, stared in disbelief. Nora tried to deny the accusations, but the evidence was overwhelming. The people who had once loved her now turned against her, and the palace guards seized her, dragging her away from the throne she had coveted for so long. Nora was in prison, together with her evil friends. Her dreams of power shattered. Naima, who had once been her closest friend, disappeared into the night, leaving Nora to face the consequences of her actions alone. The kingdom of Nazodo eventually recovered, but the memory of Nora's betrayal lingered. Her story became a cautionary tale, a reminder of how fear and envy can corrupt even the purest of hearts. And so, the tale of Princess Nora, once beloved by all, ended in sorrow and regret. The kingdom she had hoped to rule now flourished under the guidance of her younger sister, Queen Azara, who took the throne with a heart full of compassion and wisdom, determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. The end.